Have you ever been completely baffled by a girl's behavior? One moment, she seems incredibly interested, and the next, she pulls away and becomes distant. You're left wondering what just happened. In this video, we're diving deep into the mysterious world of mixed signals and uncovering the hidden reasons behind this confusing behavior. I'll share a personal story of my own experiences with this, and by the end, you'll have a clear understanding and practical tips to navigate these puzzling situations with confidence. Stay tuned, because what you'll learn today could transform your interactions forever. If this video is helpful, please comment with the number 1. If it's not helpful yet, please comment with the number 0 so we can improve further. Features 1. The hot and cold treatment. One of the most noticeable signs is her hot and cold treatment. Have you ever experienced the confusing dance of mixed signals from a girl? One day she's all warm smiles, engaging in deep conversations and making you feel like the center of her universe. The next day, she's as distant as a faraway galaxy, leaving you wondering if you did something wrong. This emotional roller coaster can be incredibly frustrating, but it might actually be a sign of interest. He could be protecting herself or trying to gauge your feelings. Pay close attention to the pattern. Does she consistently return to the warm side after periods of coolness? If so, that's your cue. For instance, she might respond enthusiastically to your text one day, then go radio silent the next. But if she always circles back to friendly and engaging interactions, it's likely she's into you, but is battling her own feelings or fear. Let me share a personal story to illustrate this. I once knew a girl who would text me every morning with a cheerful good morning message. We'd chat throughout the day, sharing jokes and stories. But then, out of nowhere, she'd disappear for days, leaving my messages unread. Just when I thought she had lost interest, she'd come back with the same warmth and enthusiasm, acting as if nothing had happened. It took me a while to realize that her disappearing act wasn't a sign of disinterest, but rather her way of processing her own emotions and feelings. Attraction isn't always a smooth ride. Sometimes it's more like a bumpy road with unexpected turns. If she's playing hot and cold, she might just be trying to find her balance on this journey of attraction. By the end of this video, you'll understand the subtle signs and learn how to navigate these mixed signals with confidence, turning confusion into clarity and uncertainty into opportunity. Stay tuned, because what you'll learn today could transform your inner. Has anything similar happened to you before? Please share your story in the comment below. Anticipated. The lingering glance. Besides her hot and cold treatment, have you ever noticed the subtle ways a girl might show interest, even when she's giving you the cold shoulder? Her actions may seem distant, but her eyes often tell a different story. You're sitting in a room, minding your own business, when you suddenly feel the weight of her gaze. You catch her looking at you just as she quickly averts her eyes, suddenly finding her phone or random potted plant incredibly interesting. This look-away game is her way of showing interest while trying to maintain a distant facade. It's as if she can't help but look at you, even when she's trying to play it cool. In group settings, pay attention to where her gaze naturally lands. Does it frequently find its way to you even when you're not the one speaking? Does she seem more engaged when you're part of the conversation, even if she's not directly interacting with you? These lingering glances are telling signs. It's like her eyes are sharing little secrets that her words and actions are trying to keep hidden. I remember a time when I was at a party, standing across the room from a girl I had been interested in for a while. We hadn't spoken much that evening, but I kept noticing her eyes on me. Every time I looked in her direction, she would quickly look away, pretending to be engrossed in her conversation or her drink. It was a subtle yet powerful signal that she was aware of me and curious, even if she didn't show it openly. Eyes are often called the windows to the soul, and sometimes they're letting you peek in, even when the curtains are drawn. Her lingering glances are like little secrets her eyes are sharing, betraying her interest even when she's trying to keep it hidden. By understanding these subtle cues, you can gain a deeper insight into her feelings and navigate this confusing terrain with greater confidence. So, stay tuned. In this video, we'll decode these mixed signals and give you the tools to read between. You'll learn how to interpret her actions and, more importantly, her inactions, turning confusion into clarity. By the end, you'll be equipped to handle these emotional roller coasters with ease and confidence. When you unintentionally catch her glancing at you, how do you generally respond? Please like this video and share your own story in the comment below. 3. The reluctant laugh. You find that not only is she glancing at you, but she's also laughing reluctantly. Picture this. You're hanging out with a group of friends and you crack a joke. While everyone else is laughing openly, you notice her fighting back a smile. Despite her distant demeanor, she can't help but react to your humor. She might try to stifle her laughter, disguising it as a cough or playing it off with an eye roll, but there's a hint of amusement she just can't hide. This reluctant amusement is like her genuine emotions staging a tiny rebellion against her cool exterior. Imagine you're at a social gathering and you've just told a particularly funny story. Most people are laughing out loud, but she's there, sitting quietly, trying to keep a straight face. You see the corners of her mouth twitching, her eyes sparkling with the suppressed laughter she's trying so hard to conceal. Maybe she covers her mouth with her hand, pretending to yawn or cough, or perhaps she rolls her eyes in an exaggerated way to downplay her reaction. But no matter how much she tries to maintain her distant facade, there's a moment, a brief, fleeting second, where her true emotions peek through. This reluctant amusement is her natural reaction saying, "This guy is funny," while her brain tries to maintain the distant act. It's a small but significant sign that she's paying attention to you and enjoys your company, even if she doesn't openly pay attention to these small breaks in her composure. They're like little cracks in her armor, revealing the warmth underneath. For example, I remember once sharing a funny story during a lunch break at work. While most colleagues laughed openly, there was this one girl who always seemed a bit reserved around me. I noticed her fighting back a smile, her eyes crinkling at the corners, even as she tried to maintain a serious expression. She let out a little snort, quickly covering it with a cough, and then rolled her eyes as if to dismiss the joke. But for that brief moment, her true feelings shone through. If you notice this happening, try making eye contact right after your joke. That shared moment of humor could start melting the ice. Catch her eye and you might see her smile widen just a bit, or perhaps she'll hold your gaze for a second longer than usual before looking away. This shared connection, even if fleeting, can be a powerful indicator of her interest and a step toward breaking down the barriers she's put up. In this video, we'll delve deeper into these subtle signals and teach you how to recognize and respond to them. By understanding these small but telling cues, you'll be better equipped to navigate the complexities of her mixed signals. So stay tuned, because decoding these hints could transform your interactions and help you build a stronger connection. The accidental run-ins. Isn't it curious how you bump into her more often than usual, even though she's acting distant? Whether it's at your favorite coffee shop, the gym, or that obscure bookstore you mentioned once in passing, these coincidences might be more intentional than they appear. She's creating opportunities to see you while maintaining plausible deniability. It's her way of staying on your radar without explicitly showing interest. Picture, you're grabbing your morning latte at the local cafe, the one you casually mentioned loving for its cozy atmosphere and perfect coffee. Suddenly, she walks in looking surprised to see you. "Oh, you come here too. What a small world," she might say, feigning surprise. But if she remembered your offhand comment about loving the lattes at this specific cafe, it's probably not just chance bringing her there. These accidental encounters are her subtle way of orbiting your world, even while she's pretending to be in a different solar system. Pretty clever, right? Sections 5. The indirect information gathering. Sherlock Holmes, watch out. There's a new detective in town, and she's gathering intel on you with the subtlety of a seasoned spy. You might notice she's oddly well-informed about your life, despite not asking you questions directly. Perhaps she casually mentions something you posted on social media, or brings up a topic she knows you're interested in. This indirect information gathering shows she's paying attention to you, even if she's not showing it openly. You're chatting with her, and out of the blue, she comments on your recent hiking trip, even though you never mentioned it to her directly. I saw those amazing photos from your hike last weekend. That trail looks incredible, she might say, with a smile that suggests she's genuinely interested. Or perhaps she brings up your favorite band in conversation, saying, "I heard the new album by band name is really good. Have you listened to it yet?" These comments show she's been keeping tabs on your interests and activities. It's like she's creating a mental dossier titled Things About Him, filled with tidbits she's collected from various sources. Maybe she's been chatting with your friends, subtly gathering information, or perhaps she's been scrolling through your social media, paying close attention to your posts, comments, and likes. She could also be extra observant when you're around, picking up on the little details you might casually mention in conversations. For instance, I remember once talking to a girl at a party who, out of nowhere, mentioned a niche hobby of mine that I had only ever discussed online. "I saw you build model ships." "That's so cool. My cousin is into that too," she said. It was clear she had done some research on me, as I had never talked about it in person before. Her interest in my hobby, despite her distant demeanor, was a clear sign she had been paying attention. If she drops a comment about your favorite band, your latest adventure, or even a book you mentioned months ago, take note. She's been doing her homework on you, subtly gathering information to understand you better. This is her way of showing interest while maintaining her distant facade, ensuring she knows enough about you to connect without making her interest too obvious. So, keep an eye out for these little nuggets of information she drops into conversations. They're not just random comments. They're clues that she's invested in learning more about you. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to recognize these subtle signs and understand the deeper interest they reveal. Stay tuned, because decoding these clues can help you see through the mixed signals and connect on a more meaningful level. 6. The protective friend. Ever feel like you're being interviewed by her friends? That's not a coincidence, my friend. You might notice her squad acting as intermediaries in this complex dance of attraction. They might casually ask about your life or relationship status, or accidentally mention things about her that she'd want you to know. This could be a sign that she's interested but too shy or uncertain to approach you directly, so she's enlisted her trusted lieutenants for some reconnaissance work. Imagine as you're at a party and one of her friends strikes up a conversation with you. At first it seems casual, but then they start asking more personal questions. "So, are you seeing anyone right now?" they ask, trying to sound nonchalant. Or they might bring up something specific about her, like, "Did you know she loves hiking too? She just went on an amazing trip last weekend." These questions and comments are not random. They're part of a subtle strategy to gather information about you and plant seeds of thought about her. It's like she's sent out her own personal CIA to gather intel and maybe drop a few hints along the way. Pay attention to how her friends act around you. Are they extra friendly? Do they seem to be evaluating? Maybe they're trying to leave you two alone together. For instance, you might find yourself in a group conversation and suddenly her friends disperse, leaving just the two of you. Or perhaps one of them says something like, "Hey, we're going to grab some drinks. You two should catch up." These could all be signs that they're on a mission from their friend. Operation Cupid, if you will. I remember a time when I was at a friend's gathering and one of the girl's friends kept steering the conversation towards topics she knew we both enjoyed. She asked about my favorite books and movies, things she had clearly been briefed on. Later, I realized it was all part of a coordinated effort to find common ground and spark a connection. Her friends' involvement is a strong indicator of her interest. They are her trusted allies, helping her navigate her feelings and actions. If her friends are making an effort to get to know you or facilitate alone time between you two, it's a clear sign they're acting on her behalf. They're gathering intel, gauging your interest, and creating opportunities for you two to connect. By understanding these subtle social dynamics, you can gain a clearer picture of her true feelings. So, keep an eye on how her friends interact with you and the little hints they drop. In this video, we'll dive deeper into these signs and help you decode the secret operations of her friend squad. Stay tuned because recognizing these signals could give you the clarity and confidence to take the next step. 7. The subtle jealousy. When it comes to hidden attraction, jealousy can be quite the telltale sign. You might notice a slight change in her behavior when you mention other women or when she sees you talking to another girl. Suddenly, Ms. Distant transforms into MS, attentive quicker than you can say just friends. She might find a reason to join the conversation, position herself closer to you, or even try to one-up the other girl in some subtle way. You're at a gathering, chatting with a mutual friend who happens to be a girl. Out of the corner of your eye, you see her approaching. She wasn't involved in the conversation before, but now she's here, smiling and engaging with you both. She might say something like, "Oh, I didn't know you were into hiking too. I just went on this amazing trail last weekend," steering the conversation towards her and subtly highlighting her own qualities. It's like watching a nature documentary where two animals are competing for territory, except the territory is your attention. Her demeanor might shift noticeably. She might laugh a bit louder at your jokes, touch your arm lightly to get your attention, or position herself so that she's closer to you than the other girl. It's her way of asserting her presence and reminding you of her interest. Remember, we're talking subtle jealousy here, not over-the-top drama. Look for small tells, a slight frown when you mention another girl, a touch of sarcasm in her voice when responding to something about another woman, or a sudden need to remind you of her presence. Maybe she makes a light-hearted joke about you being popular or asks innocently, "Who was that you were talking to?" with a hint of curiosity. For instance, I recall a time when I mentioned to a group that I was meeting an old friend who happened to be a girl. The girl I was interested in, who usually kept her distance, suddenly became very curious. "Oh, you never mentioned her before. How do you know her?" she asked, trying to sound casual but clearly more attentive than usual. Throughout the rest of the conversation, she made an extra effort to engage with me, laughing at my jokes and making sure I noticed. These small signs of jealousy are her way of saying, "Hey, don't forget about me," without actually saying it. It's a subtle but powerful indicator of her feelings. By paying attention to these clues, you can gain deeper insight into her true emotions and navigate the complexities of her mixed signals. In this video, we'll explore these signs of hidden jealousy and teach you how to recognize them. Understanding these subtle cues can help you decipher her feelings and give you the confidence to make the next move. So stay tuned, because decoding these signals could transform your interactions and reveal the true nature of her interest. Saying forward, the digital paradox. Welcome to modern romance, where real-life interactions and digital behavior often tell two very different stories. In person, she might give you the cold shoulder, but online, her behavior lights up like Times Square on New Year's Eve. You might notice she's quick to like or react to your social media posts. Whether it's that gym selfie or a funny meme you shared, she's always the first to respond. Yet, when you send her a direct message, she takes hours to reply. This digital paradox is her way of staying connected and showing interest while maintaining real-life distance. Imagine you post a photo and within minutes, she's liked it or commented something thoughtful. But if you message her directly, her responses are delayed and brief. It's like she's saying, "I'm interested enough to keep tabs on you, but not ready to show it in person yet." She wants to stay on your radar without making herself too vulnerable. For instance, she might frequently engage with your content, liking and commenting on your posts, but remains distant when you try to chat one-on-one. If you're getting radio silence in real life, but a symphony of notifications from her online, she's keeping you on her radar, just from a safe digital distance. Stay tuned, because decoding this digital behavior can help you understand her true feelings and navigate the complexities of modern romance. 9. The body language betrayal. Even when she's verbally distant, her body language can reveal a different story. Pay close attention to unconscious mirroring. Does she subtly mimic your gestures or posture? This subconscious behavior often indicates a sense of rapport and attraction. For example, if you lean forward, does she follow suit? Additionally, observe her physical proximity. Despite her verbal distance, does she consistently find reasons to be near you? Notice if she often maneuvers into your personal space, such as squeezing past you in a room that isn't crowded or positioning herself close to you in group settings. Another telling sign is the direction of her feet. Are they pointed towards you even when she's engaged in conversation with others? The orientation of her feet can be a subconscious indicator of where her interest lies. These nonverbal cues suggest that while her words may suggest disinterest, her body language signals a different message. It's as if her body is subtly saying, "Notice me." By recognizing these physical signals, you can gain deeper insight into her true feelings and navigate the complexities of her mixed signals with clarity and confidence. Understanding these nuances can help you decipher her level of interest and whether it's reciprocating her cues or reassessing your approach. 10. The future reference. Despite her current aloofness, there are subtle clues that she sees a potential future with you, even if she's not fully embracing it in the present. Watch for moments when she casually drops references to future events or activities that mysteriously involve you. It's like she's foreseeing a shared path and nudging you gently toward it. Imagine this scenario. You're chatting and she mentions a concert by a band you both like that's coming up next month. "Hey, have you heard about the XYZ band playing? That could be a really fun show to go to," she says with a slight smile. Or perhaps she suggests trying out a new restaurant, casually mentioning, "I heard about this great place downtown. We should check it out sometime." These references to future plans are her way of testing the waters and gauging your reaction. It's as if she's subtly planting seeds for potential shared experiences, even while maintaining her current distant demeanor. She might not be ready to make concrete plans with you right now, but she's hinting at the possibility of future togetherness. For instance, I recall a time when someone I was interested in would occasionally bring up movies or events happening in the city, suggesting we should go together sometime. Despite her usual reserve, these hints indicated she was thinking about us sharing. It was a way for her to express interest in a non-committal manner, inviting me to imagine a future where we could enjoy each other's company. These subtle gestures suggest she's keeping you in her thoughts and is open to the idea of deepening your connection over time. By noticing these hints, you can better understand her intentions and respond accordingly, whether you reciprocate by showing interest in these future plans or subtly acknowledging her hints. Recognizing these signs can help you navigate the uncertainty of her current aloofness and move towards a more meaningful connection. What should you do when you find she likes you? When you discover that she secretly likes you, it's important to approach the situation with sensitivity and clarity. Firstly, take time to observe her behavior and subtle cues, like her body language, how she engages with you, and any hints she drops about future plans involving you. These signs can give you a better understanding of her feelings and intentions. Next, consider reciprocating her interest with warmth and openness. Show genuine appreciation for her company and find opportunities to spend time together. It's crucial to be respectful of her boundaries and pace, especially if she's been cautious or reserved about expressing her feelings. Communication is key in navigating this newfound discovery. You can gently probe the topic in conversations, perhaps mentioning something she hinted at or asking about her interests and aspirations. This allows both of you to gauge each other's feelings and, above all, be patient and empathetic. Respect her feelings and allow the relationship to evolve naturally. Whether it leads to a deeper connection or remains a friendship, acknowledging her feelings with kindness and understanding will foster trust and mutual respect between you both. Deciphering the signs when a girl likes you but keeps her distance can be tricky. From subtle gestures to digital interactions, These clues often speak louder than words. If you've noticed these behaviors, approach with understanding and patience. By respecting her boundaries while showing interest, you can nurture a potential connection. If you found this video helpful, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into relationships. Your support keeps us going and exploring the complexities of modern romance. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.